say, kids? What time is it?
Hey, it's Edson at GeekTime TV. So, for quite a few years now, a small group of people, which I will generously refer to as radicals, have been telling us that classic works, novels that have been enjoyed for many generations, all of a sudden need to be edited for modern sensitivities. These same people also want movies, classic movies that have been enjoyed for many years, and they want to change them to focus on diversity and identity politics as opposed to what made those movies great in the first place, which was an actual great story with interesting characters. And my favorite uh, particular one is when they say, let's reinterpret this to reflect uh, the way things are today, which is very confusing to me because I don't see myself getting into a ship anytime soon and rocketing across the halfway across the galaxy, or putting on chainmail and jumping into battle with swords or axes or anything like that. And even if you do have a story that is set in modern society, you're never going to reflect everything about modern today, because it turns out the world is pretty big, and people in certain parts of the world are very different from the other parts of the world. So how are you going to make something that reflects uh, everything that it is modern today? I don't get that at all. But anyways, that's what they've been doing, and changing all of our classic works and remaking them, crappy, and changing all the characters that we like so much. And of course, the Hollywood elites have so far been all for that, until they realize that the average person doesn't really agree with any of this. And um, once people stop picking up the books to read, or go into the theaters to watch their movies, the demand for their particular talents dry up. And now we're starting to see a kind of a turning from some of these Hollywood elites. Like, for example, here Tom Hanks discusses cancel culture. Let me decide what I'm offended by. Let's see what he has to say. Tom Hanks is against reading a censored book. Hanks, 66, touched on cancel culture while promoting his upcoming novel, The Making of Another Major Motion Picture Masterpiece. The Forrest Gump actor is not on board with someone else deciding what he should deem offensive. It seems like that's a very different opinion than what he had not that long ago. And it's interesting here how he's saying this as he's promoting his own novel. Of course, now all of a sudden you want people to pick up your book, and it looks like now you're against censoring people's works. Didn't really have him. He hasn't really come out and said anything against this before, but here you go. I'm of the opinion that we're all grown-ups here. Let's have faith in our own sensibilities, as opposed to having someone else decide what we may or may not be offended by, Hanks told NBC News. Let me decide what I'm offended by and what I'm not offended by. I would be against reading any book from any era that says abridged due to modern sensitivities. Yes, it makes perfect sense. This is exactly what we've been saying all this time, and now it looks like all these Hollywood elites seem to be kind of jumping on board suddenly. Hanks was responding to the current trend of editing books to not be offensive in modern times. Ian Fleming's ribald James Bond books have been rewritten to remove a handful of racial references in order to fit modern day thought, according to reports published in February. Let's see. Hanks got candid about how he relates to his upcoming novel. The book is about the production of a Hollywood superhero movie. I have pulled every single one of these moments of behavior myself on a set. Not everybody is at their best single day on a motion picture set. I've had tough days trying to be professional when my life has been falling apart in more ways than one, and the requirement for me that day is to be funny, charming, loving, and it's the last way I feel. Okay, so now we have Tom Hanks is against censoring books. Thanks for jumping on the bandwagon now. Then we have Richard Dreyfuss. And I love what he says here. Jaws starred Richard Dreyfuss blasts new Oscar diversity rules. They make me vomit. Yeah, well, there's been quite a few times lately as I'm trying to watch some of the newer movies and TV shows where I've had to rush to the bathroom to make it there before I vomit as well. So I get what he's saying. Let's see. Hollywood star Richard Dreyfuss, an Academy Award winning actor best known for his role in Jaws, said in an interview that the new diversity rules imposed by the Oscars for films to be eligible for the Best Picture award make me vomit. They make me vomit, Dreyfuss told Margaret Hoover on Firing Line, which aired Friday night on PBS. This is an art form. No one should be telling me as an artist that I have to give in to the latest, most current idea of what morality is. New policies enacted by the Oscars in 2024 will see a film award eligibility dependent upon meeting two of four stipulated diversity benchmarks. One, for instance, mandates a third of a movie cast must be comprised of an underrepresented group. Yeah, let's not try to cast the best actor for the role. Let's try to put some kind of like stipulations on who could that be. Traditionally, I would think that who you'd want is the best actor that could fit that role. But let's put all these conditions on it all of a sudden. Let's see. My favorite part of what he says here, well, other than they make him vomit, which I totally agree with, says here it is. I still can't really wrap my head around the fact that people confuse being exposed to an opposing view on any subject with being a traitor or with being a subversive. Think about because that is happening a lot these days. It used to be where we could just have a discourse and people could express different opinions without turning to hatred or turning to violence. Now we see more and more of this happening where the second someone gives an opposing view on anything, just give lets people know what they think. Now all of a sudden they're subject to being a traitor or being a subversive. It's incredible what's been going on here. Well, hopefully with some of these Hollywood actors coming out against this stuff, maybe things will start to turn soon. I think they have been. Let's see, the last one, and my personal favorite one, Steven Spielberg on why he regrets editing guns out of E.T. That was a mistake. Steven Spielberg has said he regrets editing guns out of his 1982 classic E.T. and the 20th anniversary release of the film. So this is Steven Spielberg editing his own work, apparently so that he could not offend anybody. E.T., which surpassed the original Star Wars movie to become the highest grossing film of all time when it was released, tells the story of Elliot, a boy who befriends an extraterrestrial who is left behind on Earth. The film's original theatrical cut includes a scene of officers chasing young children while carrying firearms. Spielberg edited the guns out for the 2002 release and replaced them with walkie-talkies. That's interesting. So you have federal officers, people who work for our government in criminal investigations. They chase down criminals, and you have a problem with them carrying guns. I mean, last time I heard that our federal agents, it's a standard issue. You're not going to become a federal agent unless you get trained and carry a gun. And people had a problem with this for some reason. That's kind of crazy. That was a mistake, Spielberg said during a master class at the time 100 Summit. I never should have done that. E.T. is a product of its era. No film should be revised. No film should be revised based on the lenses we now are, either voluntarily or being forced to peer through. This is the key one right here. No film should be revised based on the lenses we now are, either voluntarily or being forced to peer through, because that's been going on a lot also, where you are forced to now see through the lenses that other people's opinions have, and instead of being able to, people are telling you what you must feel about this, or you must change things based on their opinions. He added, I should never have messed with the archives of my own work, and I don't recommend anyone doing that. All of our movies are a kind of signpost where we were when we made them, what the world was like and what the world was receiving when we got those stories out there. So I really regret having that out there. Speaking about Roald Dahl's and other authors' books being censored in recent months, Spielberg said, for me it is sacrosanct. It's our history, It's our cultural heritage. I do not believe in censorship in any way. Thank you very much. Well, I'm hoping that now that we're seeing more and more of actors and directors and more Hollywood types coming out and speaking out against this changing of our classic works and changing the way we present our stories. I'm hoping that it'll just go back to having just a movie with a great story, with great characters, just like we used to have. And maybe they'll want to start doing that again, because it turns out that a lot of people don't go out to the theaters and watch a lot of these crappy movies that's just focused on their diversity rules or their you know, identity politics instead of a story. And by the way, all these classic books, all these classic movies and TV shows that they're speaking out against, they all had not all, but a lot of them had a very diverse. We've always had very diverse characters and throughout the history of books and movies. So that's not something new. It's just, like I said, a small group of people just trying to push their own ideologies on you and telling you what you should like or what you should not like. And personally, I'm really sick of it. So I'm hoping that this will start to change back to the way things were when it was great. Okay, that's it for me. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this, and I'll talk to you soon.
If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up below. Also, please subscribe to GeekTime TV. It really helps us grow the channel. And make sure you hit that bell icon in order to receive notifications every time we drop new content here. You can also check us out on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at GeekTimeNet. Thanks again for watching. We will see you soon.
Say, kids, what time is that?